Hi there, this is just a quick video to help anyone who needs a little extra support developing enough poems to turn in to make up for possibly any missed poetry work that was due in the last couple weeks, but also to be prepared to have at least 5 polished poems to create a presentation. We will spend time in class Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday putting that together. So this is just a review of some craft moves we talked about that will help you write good poetry, and you should have these in some notes. But more importantly, I'm going to share some ideas for easy poems that you can write yourself. Here's some ideas that are really easy to describe. You could take any quick write that you have written in the past, turn it into a poem by highlighting words and phrases that stand out and turning those into the lines of your poem. Sort of like a blackout poem, but then building on it, and not the visual type that a blackout poem is. Another idea is to take a passage from a book and pull out the language you like and work it into lines and stanzas, play around with the formatting, add your own wording, and turn it into a poem. You could tell a story in the form of a poem. It's called a narrative poem. So just like in any sort of quick write that's creative with a fun prompt, you can just lay it out in the form of a poem and add some poetic elements like these craft moves. Another neat idea that's a fun way to write a poem is have 2 characters that are going to talk back and forth about something, and each stanza is the other person talking. I even saw one poem that was a conversation between several people about a topic, and the topic was the title of the poem. It can be funny, it could be serious. A neat idea here is look up a topic you're interested in, use the Wikipedia page or something like that, and again, pull out words and phrases to create a poem on a topic that's interesting. It could be even sort of something that no one else would think of as a good topic for a poem, but you can make it poetic. A last idea, if you're in the library during a study hall or in a classroom with a lot of books, is look at book spines, because the titles of books on the spines can be very poetic in their language, or at least inspire a topic for a poem. Okay, so there's that. I will send you this document so you have this list. But then also there's a document I'll send you that this is just a lot of different types of poems that you can try writing. Some of these we did together in class. There's the who, what, when, where, why poem. It's really easy to try. And for all these poems, they could be about something completely fictional. They can be inspired by a movie, book character, video game character. Another type here is a tanka. It's like a haiku, but a bit longer. So there's a certain number of syllables you're trying to have per line. You don't have to stick to it 100%. And then here's some examples. A chain poem is really easy. It's sort of like stream of consciousness. Just randomly think of words inspired by a beginning word. So this is an example where history was the first word, and then the rest of the words just came like free association based on the word before. And then you take each word and turn it into the next line of the poem. Okay? Another type we have is a color emotion poem, and the document has a long list of emotions and colors linked. And so you work those into a poem where you start with a color associated with an emotion and then describe it with an example, typically referencing nature, but you could go in any direction with these. Another easy type of poem that you can play around with is a letter to my body. They can be funny, they can be serious. You can focus on just like one part of your body, or you can focus on whatever you like. And again, it could be fictional. Imagine Frankenstein writing a letter to his body, or an Olympic athlete writing a letter to his body, and that could be a poem. A Shortina poem has this repeated pattern at the end of the lines, as you can see with a color coding here. And how to set these up is described there. An ode we talked about in class, and you could have a lot of fun with these odes. It could be an ode to yourself, to a pet, to an object, to your cell phone, to a video game, or you could be a fictional character writing an ode to something. A pantoum is a little more complicated, but it's an interesting form that has 4 new lines in the first stanza, and then it cycles through repeated lines, as you can see in these examples. And of course, we've tried blackout poems. Another fun one is an I am poem. You did this with the ABC format, but you can do an I am poem in any sort of format. And again, the I doesn't have to be you yourself, although it can be. And there's a few different patterns and formats to try. So thank you for listening. Oh, one more, the riddle poem. So again, we did these in class, but you can do a lot more. They're a lot of fun. So I hope this was helpful to you as you're putting together poems. Make sure you turn in any poetry you write to myself and Ms. Schwebka, and we'll make sure you get makeup credit for it if you need it, but then you'll have it ready for your project due Friday. Thank you.